killed in front of his children. And that's something I can't even picture.
A father shot during a violent home invasion in Vaughan.
Tonight, family of the victims speak out, sharing their heartbreak following a horrific crime. Good evening. The details are disturbing. A father killed while trying to protect his own children.
At least 3 masked suspects still on the loose tonight. CTV Sean Leathon spoke with family and friends of the victim and joins us live with the story. Sean.
Well, Nathan and Michelle, on the weekend when this happened, York Regional Police had originally said this appeared to be a targeted incident. Today, the brother of the victim is disputing that claim, saying that his brother is a hero who stepped in front of a gun when it was pointed at his daughters.
Aleem Faruqi was an innocent victim, a man who was devoted to his family, community, and charity. This according to that family, who have been left devastated.
I know my niece said, who's 4 years old, I no longer have a dad. And when my sister-in-law asked her, how do you know that? Her reply was just, they shot him. Can you imagine a 4-year-old?
According to York Regional Police, at least 3 people entered the home at 22 Andretta Drive in Kleinburg just before 1 a.m. Sunday. 46-year-old Faruqi, his wife, and 4 children were home. According to friends of the victim, the masked intruders demanded valuables, pointing a gun at his 3 daughters, which is when Faruqi tried to step in.
My brother loves his family, and the circumstances that unfolded that night, he responded like any father, any man would.
He got killed in front of his children. And that's something I can't even picture.
Police arrived to find Faruqi suffering from trauma. He was pronounced dead at the scene. His children, a teenage son and 3 daughters, approximate ages 16, 8, and 4 years old, were all present. Last night, a vigil was held in the neighborhood with 200 people supporting the family.
It makes you realize how short life is.
Friends say he lived the example through charitable work, like shoveling snow for the elderly or a Christmas toy drive for a local school.
He lived by the motto, love for all, hated for none.
In their initial press release, York Regional Police said the attack appeared to be targeted. Friends of Faruqi dispute that possibility.
Even if somebody thinks that he had an enemy, I can't believe, knowing him for so much.
There was no target, in my view, on my brother. He had a very simple business, a very honest man.
We reached out to York Regional Police for clarification. At this time, we've not heard back. The owner of a successful duct cleaning business, friends say that he was able to meet Premier Ford last fall for his work helping to improve air quality in schools. Today, the Premier sounded off on those responsible.
These scumbags shot him right in front of his kids, shot him dead twice. Just imagine, you know, what the trauma these kids are going to go through for the rest of their lives.
York Regional Police say they're looking for at least 3 suspects who were wearing dark masks, while the victim's family want justice and for the public to know.
Defending one's family is considered a heroic martyrdom, and I think he has achieved that. So I know my brother's watching from heaven.
And the family's saying they want justice, not just for their family, but because they say that this could have happened to anybody. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathon. Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. To a major traffic note tonight, northbound lanes of the 400 are closed. It's because of a serious collision at Major Mackenzie Drive. The crash appears to involve a flatbed truck and smaller truck. Police say 1 person was taken to hospital with serious injuries. And as you can see, traffic is backed up. OPP's on scene and advising people to avoid the area if possible.
Also tonight, past the tipping point, Premier Ford shows his frustration with Crown Royal in an outpouring of anger to protest the plant's closure in Ontario.
Quite the scene in a Weston neighborhood when a sinkhole swallowed up a sewage truck. A close call for the driver, who was still inside at the time. The vehicle was in a laneway next to an apartment on Weston Road near St. Philip's Road when the pavement collapsed into a parking garage. No injuries were reported. The scene was stabilized around noon, and emergency crews began trying to remove the truck earlier this afternoon.
Right now, we're emptying the fuel out of the truck, and then we're going to use these 2 heavy tow trucks we have here. One of them is going to bring up the back of the truck, and then we're going to pull it forward and out. But we've had engineering crews have a look and ensure the structural integrity. So right now it's just a question of removing the fuel and getting the truck out of the way.
2 heavy tow trucks were brought in to free the vehicle, which was removed from the sinkhole shortly after 2:30 this afternoon. And that was actually the second sinkhole in less than a week. Tonight, a crater that had opened up in an East York intersection has now been repaired. A section of the street at Coxwell and Cosburn collapsed after a water main broke last Wednesday night. Crews worked to repair the broken pipe, but said the road would not reopen to traffic until yesterday.
We turn to sentencing today for a man convicted in the deadly shooting of a Toronto police dog more than a year ago.
Bingo died in the line of duty, shot and killed while searching for a suspect in Etobicoke. And as CTV's John Woodward reports, body cam video of that day was played in court. And a warning, some of the details are disturbing.
This video shows the last minutes of the life of Bingo, the police service dog.
Nobody else has come through your backyard?
It's July 25th, 2023. Bingo is working with his handler, Sergeant Brandon Smith, to arrest a man named Kenneth Grant. Grant was on the run. Superior Court heard he had just shot and killed his daughter's on-again, off-again boyfriend after a dispute. And Bingo had just picked up Grant's scent. The dog rushes into the bush in a residential area near Kipling and Dixon Road.
Hey, come out!
Seconds later, gunshots can be heard on the video. The handler calls for Bingo, but Bingo doesn't come out. His leash is slack.
I need the medics! My dog's down!
Bingo had been shot in the face by Grant, who unloaded several rounds into the residential area. Police fired back, shooting Grant twice in the leg and buttocks. Grant was arrested. The video was played in court last week and released Tuesday. Grant pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of Sophonius Haley, as well as 3 gun charges and to killing a service animal. Justice Maureen Forstell agreed with the joint submission from Crown Counsel and Defense that 14 years was the right sentence. Forstell said this was not a reckless act, but a deliberate one. It was a cowardly, callous act towards an innocent animal taken for the sole purpose of escaping apprehension. Bingo was honored in a procession after his death. The Toronto Police saying in a social media post, "This case is a stark reminder of the dangers our members face in protecting our city. Bingo was killed in the line of duty, shielding his handler and fellow officers. He will always be remembered as a hero." Smith himself joined by at least a dozen members of the Toronto K-9 unit, an emotional day for all of them.
He's never going to forget Bingo.
The Toronto Police Association President Clayton Campbell said Smith was coping.
Very dangerous situation, but again, we're very proud of our police dog services. They're part of our policing family.
A family that's still missing one of their own. John Woodward, CTV News.
Still ahead, driving home an important lesson on the first day of school. Toronto Police, school staff, and the mayor welcome back students and stress the importance of road safety.
Safety is a must. Nice weather is a nice to have, and we sure got it today. Beautiful sunshine, great temperatures, everything you need for great pictures of the kids on the first day of school. And as we push into the evening hours, beautiful picturesque out there. This is a live shot from our CTV News chopper in Pickering. We've got some sailing going on. Looks just lovely out there. Let's bring in Lindsay Morrison with the specifics on today. Some areas, like north of the city, did see a bit of rain.
Yeah, we were watching for the possibility of scattered showers, Michelle, and some areas did get those. We'll show you on the radar in just a moment. But yes, generally speaking, a lovely day today. 23 degrees this hour in Toronto. It feels like 26. We're tapping into a bit of a southerly wind direction now and will be through the day tomorrow. So that's going to drive our temperature up even higher. It's also going to be quite humid. All right, here's a look at the satellite and radar. I'm going to zoom in a little closer here to show you wet weather, mainly north and west of the city, and a thunderstorm cell between Guelph and Georgetown that was pretty persistent this afternoon. Overnight tonight, we will be clear in Toronto with a low of 13. And there's your wake-up weather for the kids heading off to school tomorrow. We're going to take you through your forecast for Wednesday and beyond coming up. For now, Michelle, back to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. We turn to what was likely the top story for countless households across the province today.
The excitement and the nervous anticipation as students and teachers streamed into their classrooms for the first day of school. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more on a new beginning for some and the return to routine for others.
Step by step, children make their way to school, some for the very first time, some confused between me and their teacher.
I'm really happy for you to be my teacher, and I'm really excited to have a fun day at school.
Are you ready to make friends?
Yes.
Are you ready to learn?
Yes.
A big day and a big deal for parents, too, doing their very first drop-off.
Anxious, excited, but yeah, we're so thrilled.
I grew up going to this school, so now my son's following, and so we're just super excited. Had to be here.
The first day of classes, full of jitters and anticipation, with so much to look forward to.
Good grades, learning, track and field, and cross country, math, reading, and art.
At Owen Public School in North York, Toronto police, educators, and the mayor were on hand to drive home a safety message.
Slow down, chill. You know, some of the little kids, they could be in their blind spot. They might not be able to see you.
What streets are you on? Where are you crossing? Are you familiar that this is the safest route and this is not? I want students to come back and identify to their parents that there's problems whenever they cross on this road versus that road.
School staff greeted students, making sure everyone knew where to go and help with the big feelings that come with the first day of school.
Coming in and getting right into those back-to-school routines in the classroom, that typically settles a lot of kids and it feels nice. And then building that classroom community right away. We want all of the kids to feel welcome.
Entering a new grade comes with questions.
Who's in my class and what are we going to do?
With summer break in the rear view, seeing friends again is top of mind.
Excited for the recess to play with my friends. I'm just going to have fun.
As another school year begins. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
And as Beth mentioned, safety was also top of mind today, with the city welcoming students back to school with updated Vision Zero road safety measures. They include more than 900 crossing guards, over 630 designated school safety zones, and speed limit reductions.
Our message to the drivers today and all the school throughout the school year, just keep an eye on kids, check your blind spots, and look every way and obey the traffic rule.
We have extra officers out today with a focus on school safety, community safety zones, and school bus enforcement. Our regular road safety services officers are out. It's no time off for these couple of weeks for these officers. They'll be out in numbers in community safety zones, school zones particular, and we even have a few units that will be following some school buses around to catch those drivers and make sure the message is very loud and clear that you have to pay attention, and there's absolutely zero tolerance and zero excuses for not stopping for a school bus.
And as students return to class today, drivers are being urged to exercise caution around school buses. In Peel Region, motorists violating the rules can face fines of between $400 to $2,000 and 6 demerit points.
Investigators are continuing to comb through the debris of a house fire in Richmond Hill. 5 people, including a child, were critically injured in a blaze that police are investigating as suspicious. CTV's Raheem Ladani has been following this story and joins us live with more. Raheem.
Hi, Nathan. Fire investigators are still inside the house at this hour, and I'm going to step out of frame so you can see what they just pulled out. You can see a lot of living room furniture. There's a sofa, a couple of armchairs, end tables, all completely burned. This is an example of just how extensive this fire damage is. The Office of the Fire Marshal continues to work to determine where this fire started, and as you mentioned, York Regional Police are investigating this as suspicious.
From the drywall to insulation, the main floor of this home in Richmond Hill is gutted. York Regional Police are investigating this early Monday morning house fire as suspicious and are waiting for fire investigators to comb through the extensive debris and determine where the blaze started.
So we ran to the window and took a look, and it's like, wow, okay, the house is on fire. After these extinguished the fire, they brought them out one at a time.
Officials say 4 people were trapped inside, with some needing to be rescued from a second-floor bedroom. In total, 5 individuals were taken to hospital in critical condition.
My understanding is that the 911 operator, during the phone call, was able to hear smoke alarms during the call, and that the first firefighters that arrived also reported hearing smoke alarms inside the house, which, as we all know, that's your best chance at escape in any house fire.
The victims range in age from under 12 to 70 years old. Neighbors who did not want to appear on camera say inside the house was a father who is a retired surgeon, a mother, their 2 daughters, and a granddaughter.
Have you ever seen the family?
Yes, few times, but never chance, talk to them at all for any reason.
I've seen them while walking my dog. I don't know them personally.
Across the street from the home, a gas can and backpack were found. In a statement, police say, at this time, the jerry can is being seized as a precaution. While it's too early to confirm that it is related, its proximity to the fire is suspicious and it will be investigated in full.
That's really weird. I don't know. I've been here for about 20 years and it's really suspicious. Nothing like that has ever happened.
At this time, police have not said if they are looking for any suspects. Now, multiple neighbors have told us that police were called to this home earlier this summer for some type of incident. At this time, it's unclear if there's any connection to that incident and yesterday's house fire. We are hoping to receive an update on that tomorrow. There is going to be a press conference held tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., and we'll get all the details for you then. Reporting live, I'm Raheem Ladani. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Raheem. The body of a man who fell from a jet ski near Bluffers Park last weekend has been recovered. Police say the recovery was made by the Marine Unit, and they will not be releasing further information because the case is not criminal in nature. Investigators say the victim fell into the water around 9:15 p.m. Wednesday, or on August 24th, make that. The man, who's believed to be in his 20s, was riding a jet ski with a female passenger when a wave knocked them into the water. Police say the man had given the only life jacket to the passenger, and neither of them could swim.
The premier left no doubt today what he thinks about a company that is moving its bottling plant from Ontario down to the U.S.
Doug Ford expressed his anger and frustration with words and actions.
So this is what I think about Crown Oil. That's what they could do. And I think everyone else should do the same thing.
Ford poured out a bottle of Crown Royal during a press conference. It was in reaction to an announcement last week by spirits maker Diageo to shut down its bottling facility early next year. The company says the closure will improve efficiency. The move will affect about 200 jobs in Amsterdam.
U.S. President Donald Trump is indicating he'll ask the Supreme Court tomorrow to overturn a federal appeals court ruling that found many of his tariffs are illegal. CTV's Rachel Ayala reports on where things stand now that September is here.
The start of September marked the end of Canada's counter tariffs on U.S. goods covered under CUSMA. But today, Donald Trump showed no signs of reciprocating. The U.S. president is preparing to defend his global tariff regime before the Supreme Court.
Because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble.
Trump standing by his trade tactics comes as one cabinet minister asserted today that despite dropping retaliatory tariffs, Prime Minister Mark Carney hasn't put his elbows down.
There's no capitulation. Let's be clear, zero. Never, never. That's not happening. We're trying to match exactly what the Americans have done.
And trade talks are ongoing.
It's a complicated negotiation.
That negotiation will be a central focus as Carney convenes his cabinet in the GTA. Starting tomorrow, the Prime Minister and his front bench will be planning fall priorities. From preparing for the CUSMA review and supporting tariff-impacted sectors to fast-tracking big projects. To that end, today, Internal Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland hosted a Made in Canada summit at a Hamilton steel plant to try and generate domestic investment in major transportation projects. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Assembly of First Nations will be gathering in Winnipeg this week for their annual meeting, and some chiefs say this could be the most important one ever. CTV's Alex Carpa tees up the much-anticipated Indigenous gathering.
Indigenous leaders from coast to coast are set to meet in Winnipeg this week, with the topic of major national projects expected to dominate discussions.
Conversations are not always easy, but they're necessary. And, you know, I think on the Building Canada Act, there's lots of unknowns.
National Chief Cindy Woodhouse, Neepanak, said politicians will be paying close attention to resolutions chiefs passed regarding Ottawa's major projects legislation, Bill C-5, which has seen strong opposition from some First Nations leaders.
There is First Nations out there that are, it's up to them to say yes or no to a particular project, and we don't know what those are yet.
Bill C-5, which was passed in June, allows projects like pipelines and shipping ports to be fast-tracked without much consultation.
Major project discussions must include
us, because these decisions affect our people's inherent right and treaty rights.
Manitoba Grand Chief Garrison Settee says it's not only important for First Nations voices to be heard, but to be part of the decision process regarding future projects on Indigenous territory.
Our leaders will no longer accept any arbitrary or unilateral decisions made by governments without free, prior, and more informed consent.
There are other important topics set to be discussed over the next week, including healthcare, policing, child welfare, and housing.
Rapidly increasing homelessness within the streets of Winnipeg, largest urban Indigenous population in Canada. The socioeconomic disparities within this region are quite significant.
It is important to note that some federal ministers will be in attendance for the meeting, including Crown Indigenous Relations Minister Rebecca Alty. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is also slated to be part of the gathering. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Rescue efforts continue in eastern Afghanistan, where an earthquake Sunday killed at least 1,400 people and injured more than 3,000 others. The quake struck several provinces, causing extensive damage. Dozens of commandos are being airdropped to evacuate the injured from places where helicopters can't land. The European Union is sending 130 tons of emergency supplies and has pledged $1.16 million. Other countries have also promised support. Canada says it's ready to support the Afghan people with our humanitarian partners.
The leaders of 3 countries whose actions are an ongoing concern here in the West are meeting in China this week. CTV's Mike Lecoutel reports.
The meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is the biggest diplomatic event of the year in China, and many see it as a way for President Xi Jinping to rally countries who have become the target of U.S. President Donald Trump. Preparations have been meticulous for what is being called China's largest military parade ever. Celebrations commemorating the end of the Second World War will also showcase new drones, hypersonic missiles, and fighter jets. Perhaps more important are the guests who will be watching the display of military might. Kim Jong-un arrived on his armored train, a rare foreign trip for the North Korean leader.
Xi Jinping has been promoting this idea since 2017 that China will become the new global hegemon in what he refers to as the community of the common destiny of mankind.
Kim is expected to stand shoulder to shoulder at the ceremony with Russia's president. Vladimir Putin has been attending 2 days of meetings where China's president praised the two countries' lasting good neighborly friendship. President Xi also talked about establishing a model of mutually beneficial cooperation and win-win relations between major powers.
I think Xi is succeeding in presenting an alternative to the multilateral rules-based order that we've lived under for the last 80 years.
That summit included Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, a country dealing with 50% tariffs from the U.S. And some believe China is trying to take advantage of the current global climate.
China is putting on a strong display of strength and is making itself out to be a responsible stakeholder in global affairs.
President Donald Trump was asked about Russia and China forming an axis against the U.S. He says he's not concerned at all about it. Mike Lecoutel, CTV News, Ottawa.
Here in Canada, the northern lights should be visible across much of the country tonight. Usually the Aurora borealis have a little more of a greenish hue, but a NASA astronaut captured a crimson line one orbiting Earth. Red auroras only happen 2 or 3 times during a 6-month mission to the International Space Station. Tonight, there's a high probability of aurora activity, particularly over western and northern parts of Canada. With dark conditions and a clear view of the northern horizon, the lights could also be visible from southern Ontario.
In Phoenix, a large dust storm consumed the city on Labor Day. A wall of dust more than 9 kilometers long was seen approaching the Arizona capital at around 5:30 yesterday afternoon and was moving about 32 kilometers per hour with possible gusts of up to 80 kilometers per hour. This happened as monsoon storms moved through the area, causing power outages and a temporary ground stop at the local international airport.
Somebody in the U.S. could be holding a lottery ticket worth more than an estimated $1.13 billion. Yes, that is billion with a B. Nobody has matched all 6 numbers in the Powerball draw since May 31st, so the jackpot has now reached the 5th largest prize in the game's history. The odds of getting all the right numbers are 1 in 292.2 million. Payments for a jackpot would be spread over 30 years, or the winner can choose an immediate lump sum, which now stands at $589 million. The next draw is tomorrow night.
Coming up, he was a trailblazer who captivated audiences on the big and small screen and the stage. We look back on the life and legacy of Canadian actor Graham Greene.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, more people are now using their smartphones to pay for everything from gas to groceries. Digital wallets are convenient, but what happens if you lose your phone or it's stolen? I'll have my reports. That story is just ahead.
Well, not only is it September, but it's also meteorological fall. If you prefer to hang on to summer a little bit longer, you have until September 22nd and the autumnal equinox. We've got some rain in the forecast for this week, and once that front moves through, it's going to cool down. We'll talk about temperatures in the teens coming up. And stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
Whether you're buying lunch or movie tickets, more people are now tapping their phones to pay instead of using cards or cash.
Using a digital wallet is convenient, but what happens if your phone goes missing or falls into the wrong hands? Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Nathan and Michelle, many people have embraced using their phones to pay for things since most of us don't leave home without them. While using a digital wallet is considered safe, there are steps you can take to protect your money and prevent fraud. It's something more of us are doing on a daily basis, paying for items using a smartphone. Digital wallets are fast and convenient.
I can just take it anywhere, whether it's on my phone or on my watch. I know that I always have something to pay with.
But not everyone is convinced it's the best option.
I feel more secure, or just go the old-fashioned ways, use cash.
While opinions differ, there's no question digital wallets are catching on. Once set up, payments are a breeze.
Wherever you go, whatever kind of payment system they require, all you need to do is pull out your phone. No need for cash, no need for plastic.
A Consumer Reports survey found 4 in 10 consumers use their digital wallet at least once a week, but that convenience may come with risks, because if someone gets into your digital wallet, they could access your money in seconds.
There are security features that are built into both your phone as well as the wallet app on it, but they're not always turned on by default.
You want to make sure your digital wallet is locked. Set it so you need a face scan, fingerprint, or passcode to make a payment. You may need to turn these features on. If your phone goes missing, make sure it can be found remotely so you can erase all your data before someone else gets to it. On an iPhone, go to Settings, tap your name, then Find My, and make sure Find My iPhone is on. If you have an Android phone, it's called Find My Device. Just sign in with your Google account and it's enabled automatically.
If you haven't activated it, you need to, and you should practice it. Do a test run to make sure that if the worst happens, you're ready.
And watch out for scams. They're on the rise.
Scams involving digital wallet payment apps have become a serious problem. Some consumers have lost thousands of dollars. So it's important to stay vigilant to avoid becoming a victim.
To lower your risk, turn on transaction alerts for every purchase. That way you can catch anything unusual right away and protect your money. And it's a good habit to check your credit card bank balances regularly. Go through your statements line by line to make sure there aren't charges you didn't authorize. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
All right, well, weather-wise, the first day of school was pretty good, don't you think?
Oh, looking at all the pictures out there, people enjoying the first day with their kids, beautiful sunshine. It really does make it a lot easier, and especially when it's not too hot and not too cold.
I think so. You know, maybe you needed a light sweater for the kids early this morning, but that was shed by the afternoon. Hopefully not missing already. I know that lost and found fills up pretty quickly, doesn't it?
It's probably already has a whole load at many schools.
Oh, yes. Well, tomorrow is going to be another summer-like day, maybe even to the point that you don't even need the sweater in the morning. Lots of sunshine in store as well, but things will become a little active and a little cooler as the week goes on. Before we get to your local forecast, I do want to talk about the Aurora borealis, or the northern lights. You heard us talking about it a little earlier in the newscast. You could see a sky like this if you are far enough away from light pollution, so that really means getting out of downtown Toronto. Jamie capturing this footage from Grand Bend last night. Beautiful. If you happen to see anything quite like this, feel free to send us a photo or video. We'd love to air it on the news as well. Let's talk about what's in store for tonight. We are still very comfortable this hour at 23 degrees in Toronto. In fact, it feels like 26 right now. See this dividing line with color? I just want to tease the fact that that's a cold front. It's slowly going to make its way toward us here in the lower Great Lakes, and that's going to cool us down a little later this week. But for now, we are seasonal through the overnight hours tonight. 13 for the low, 14 is average. And then back to school for many kids. It's the first day tomorrow for some, and your school day forecast looks great. I think it's going to feel like summer, feeling like 30 at the height of the day, mainly sunny skies and southerly winds for the most part. 27 is your forecast high in St. Thomas. How about 26 degrees in Burlington, 25 in Aurora, and we are looking at mostly sunny skies across parts of Muskoka and eastern sections of Ontario too. Now, it hasn't been all sunshine today everywhere. I want to show you another look at the satellite and radar. This cluster of thunderstorms has been hovering between Guelph and Georgetown for some time now. So heavy rain in those areas, spotty showers in others north and west of Toronto. For the most part, this is now tapering off. We should dry out as we continue through the evening hours. And then this disturbance well off to the northwest in northern Ontario is what's going to bring us our next round of rain. And then a cool down behind that front. Maybe even some snow in northwestern parts of Ontario. Likely nothing sticking to the ground, but perhaps a few flakes. Here is the forecast radar. So lots of sunshine for tomorrow. Daytime hours are going to be dry. It's overnight and into Thursday morning that we get into some rain. It looks like it could be quite heavy for the AM commute, but look what happens into the afternoon. Clearing out, a return to some sunshine and drying out. Few showers may be returning into the forecast on Friday, so just be mindful of that too. And at this point, it's looking like we could pick up anywhere from about 5 to 10, maybe even 15 millimeters of rain. 7-day forecast looking like this. All right, so yes, we are going to be a little bit cooler for Thursday and Friday. Teen temperatures for the weekend, 19 degrees for both Saturday and Sunday, but it looks quite pleasant, mix of sun and cloud. In fact, right through to Monday. That's the weather for now. Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, new hope for people living with certain types of ovarian cancer. Health Canada approves a drug that can be effective when surgery or chemotherapy is no longer an option. For people living with ovarian cancer, sometimes surgery or chemotherapy is ineffective.
But as CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, there is new hope for patients.
Liz Reichert was diagnosed with ovarian cancer after a medical episode while on vacation in Paris in 2019.
No other symptoms. Except as I was sitting on that bus, I felt like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting a giant period.
It was stage 3B, with stage 4 being the most advanced form.
It meant that the cancer had already spread from my pelvic area into my peritoneum, which is the kind of sac that holds all your organs in your belly.
Ovarian cancer is typically quite advanced when it's finally detected. Reichert had surgery followed by platinum-based chemotherapy and has been doing very well for the past 6 years. But for most ovarian cancer patients, there comes a time when those platinum-based chemos no longer work. That's why the approval of a new drug called Elahere is so significant.
Mirvetuximab is the generic name. So it's approved for women with what we call platinum-resistant ovarian cancer.
Dr. Alan Covens says Elahere acts on the folate receptors on the cell membranes.
The majority of ovarian cancer cells, like 70-75%, will express folate receptor positivity on the cell membranes. So the majority of patients would be eligible to benefit from this drug. Not everybody, but the majority.
Reichert is living a good life now, but always aware of the chance of her cancer returning, and knowing new medications are becoming available keeps her full of hope. Elahere is expected to become available in Canada next year. In the meantime, patients should talk to their doctor about treatment options. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
As students head back to class, a concerning new report is highlighting bullying as one of the biggest threats to the well-being of our country's young people. 71% of youth between the ages of 12 and 17 experienced bullying in the last year, according to the Raising Canada report. 1 in 5 teens reported experiencing cyberbullying, while 58% of youth said they had witnessed racially motivated bullying at school.
An overwhelming number of our kids are being impacted by bullying. They're experiencing it, but often reacting to it too, and they're witnessing it, whether it's in their classrooms, in the playground, or online. Our kids are being exposed to it in every domain of their life. And what I think for me as a parent was even more concerning was that only 25% of students felt that they were supported by their teachers within their school setting to be able to address bullying. So, so many of them struggling with it and yet not feeling adequately supported. That's not to suggest that teachers don't care and aren't trying, but there's a disconnect between what teachers think is happening and what students feel is happening within their classrooms.
The authors of the report are calling on the federal government to implement a national strategy to improve the lives of children.
He's being remembered as a trailblazing talent who inspired a generation of Indigenous actors. Family, friends, and colleagues are mourning the passing of Graham Greene.
Oh, Buffalo, Tatanka, Buffalo.
Greene was an Oneida actor from Six Nations of the Grand River in Ontario. He had a decades-long career on the big and small screen and earned international fame with his Oscar-nominated portrayal of Kicking Bird in 1990's Dancing with Wolves. He also had roles in The Green Mile and The Twilight Saga and won a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album for Children. Graham Greene was 73.
The Toronto International Film Festival kicks off later this week. The 50th edition of the festival begins Thursday. Nearly 300 films will be screened at venues across the city. Meanwhile, King Street West from Peter Street to University Ave will be turned into Festival Street for 4 days. The pedestrian-friendly area will include free entertainment and activities, as well as food and drinks. TIFF wraps up September 14th.
Saturday Night Live is shaking things up for season 51, and a homegrown talent is joining the cast.
Oh, my God!
Canadian comedian Veronica Slokowska from Barrie is one of 5 new faces tapped for the show. She's known for her role in the Netflix series Tires and has built a following online with her sharp and offbeat humor. She'll make her SNL debut on October 4th.
After the break, from the fair to food rescue, 25,000 pounds of leftovers saved to help people in need, thanks to the CNE's massive food donation.
Defending one's family is considered a heroic martyrdom, and I think he has achieved that. So I know my brother's watching from heaven.
Updating our top stories, a vigil was held last night for a father who was fatally shot during a home invasion in Vaughan on Sunday. Aleem Farouqi's family wants justice. At least 3 male suspects remain at large.
Right now, we're emptying the fuel out of the truck, and then we're going to use these 2 heavy tow trucks we have here. One of them is going to bring up the back of the truck, and then we're going to pull it forward and out.
2 tow trucks were brought in to free a sewage truck that was swallowed by a sinkhole in Weston today. The pavement collapsed into a parking garage. No injuries were reported, and the vehicle was removed shortly after 2:30.
Anxious, excited, but yeah, we're so thrilled.
I grew up going to this school, so now my son's following, and so we're just super excited. Had to be here.
A big day for students and parents, a mix of excitement and some nervousness as school returned after the summer break. Drivers are also reminded to be extra careful, slow down, and exercise caution near schools and school buses.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca by downloading the CTV News app.
10 years ago, Kraft and Heinz merged in a multi-billion-dollar deal, but now they're separating. BNN Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has the details.
One of the biggest food companies in the world is downsizing. Kraft Heinz is splitting in 2 only a decade after merging. The company says the complexity of its structure as one massive enterprise makes it hard to prioritize. Heinz products like ketchup and Kraft mac and cheese will be under one new company, Kraft Singles and Oscar Mayer under another. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is down 14 cents to 72.58. West Texas Intermediate is up more than $1.50 to $65.55. Western Canadian Select is down to $51.05. And the TSX is up 51 points to 28,615. That's another record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The federal jobs minister was in Toronto today announcing money for what Ottawa says will ensure the next generation is ready to succeed in the economy of the future.
Today, the Government of Canada is announcing that we're investing $26.1 million in 6 new projects under ESDC's Youth Employment and Skills Strategy. And these projects will bring together service providers, employers, and youth to better match the skills and talents that young people have with the needs of employers that are seeking that talent.
Each of the 6 projects has a different theme. A major focus will be streamlining skills training with the needs that industries and technology require. The minister says there is no single reason for the increase in youth unemployment, but calls it concerning.
The CNE is over for another year, and organizers are trying to make sure food left over from the event does not go to waste. The X has partnered with Second Harvest to rescue more than 25,000 pounds of surplus produce, canned goods, and other items. It will be donated to communities experiencing food insecurity. This is the second time the CNE has teamed up with food rescue organizations, Second Harvest, to keep leftover food from being thrown out.
Second Harvest does an incredible job, right? I mean, we have a lot of folks who are food insecure who need to have access to food, so it's a logical partnership. We were looking at how we reduce our footprint and waste, and food is such a huge component of who we are, but there's a bigger story than food than eating it. It's also access to food, connection to food, reduction of food waste, making sure that everybody in the city has what they need, and so we want to be part of that solution.
The 146th edition of the CNE wrapped up last night. Organizers estimate close to 1.4 million people took in the X during its 18-day run.
The Toronto Blue Jays will be looking to bounce back tonight in Game 2 of their series in Cincinnati.
And the 3-2. Ground ball, base hit. 1 run is home. Here comes Friedel. Throw to the plate. Not in time, and the Reds walk it off.
Toronto gave up 3 runs in the 9th for a 5-4 loss to the Reds yesterday. Jose Barrios gets the start for the Jays tonight.
To the ice, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have signed goaltender Dennis Hildeby to a 3-year contract extension. It carries an average annual value of more than $841,000. The 24-year-old Swede played in 30 regular season games with the Leafs AHL affiliate last season.
Just ahead is the question everyone seems to be asking: how was the first day of school? Our cameras went inside the classroom to capture all the precious moments. By now, the first day of school for many is in the books, and all you parents hopefully managed to get a decent recap from the kids on how the day went.
It's like pulling teeth in my house. But we were fortunate enough to get a peek inside a school in Oshawa today, where both the kids and the teachers were feeling the jitters, the joy, and lots in between. Once the bell rang, parents dispersed, and the students said Dr. C.F. Cannon Public Schools sat at their newly assigned desks.
So what do you think I'm trying to tell you about myself?
A chance to get to know the teacher.
So it's something that I did this summer.
Seated next to new faces.
Yeah.
Making fresh memories with longtime friends. Reminiscing about the summer that is all of a sudden over.
Most of you wrote just Stray Kids concerts, but I also went to see Benson Boone.
But by now, grade 6 student Cody knows the drill.
I got up, took a shower, then I ate, then I brushed my teeth, then I made my lunch.
Big emotions are par for the course.
Exciting and nervous, and I thought I was gonna get a weird teacher.
But here's the thing, just like the kids, teachers, they too have all kinds of feelings on the first day.
I think the energy is the best on the first day of school. We're nervous, but we're excited, full potential.
It's nerve-wracking, but I love it.
Katie Galinsky has been teaching for 20 years now.
The best part about seeing them in the morning is kind of the relationship building. They're a little tired, they're a little nervous, you really get to know each other.
Anitra Anderson is teaching a new grade this year.
Making sure that they feel loved and nurtured and cared for by me. That's my job as a grade 2 teacher, I think. But whatever the challenge is, I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Look, I'm ready.
Bringing the positive vibes on day one, embarking on another school year full of possibilities.
That was the easiest one of them all.
So cute. Brings back memories. So did you get a recap?
No, I've had
Nothing.
no communication, and hopefully they'll be in the mood to tell me. But you did, right?
Yes, so my little guy started JK, a couple of tears at drop-off, apparently big smiles at pickup, so I'm happy.
That's so good.
Yeah, and I'm happy with the weather. I mean, look at this beautiful
Is this
shot.
real? This looks like a painting, but yeah, live this hour on the lake.
Yes, sunset time tonight, 7:50 p.m., so the days are getting a little bit shorter. Enjoy this while we have it. Let's take one more look at what you can expect as we make our way into another school day. There's tomorrow, mainly sunny skies and a little humid. 26 degrees is going to feel like 30 into tomorrow afternoon. And let's take you through the 7-day forecast. So some rain for Thursday morning. Cooler conditions follow us into the weekend. But hey, the weekend looks not bad at all. Nathan and Michelle.
And that's it for us. Be sure to join Omar Sajidini tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Almond with our next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.